If you look at alcohol sales globally, you actually see that decline quite a fair bit, right? The younger generation, let's say my son's generation, will not have any interest in alcohol. Actually, my son will say, no, I had no interest of drinking alcohol at all. Why would I do that? I'm just poisoning myself. I see the younger generation are actually already moved away.
So you've got a big fund that invests in this space. What are you looking to invest in? What excites you?
Yeah, so
Alan Law is an entrepreneur and the CEO of Park Hotel Group, one of Asia's leading hospitality companies. After expanding into the wellness space through Move and as an investor in Revel Training, he is now building Morrow, a 38,000 square foot centre reimagining how we live, work and rejuvenate. I always find that there's certain places in the world that have insights into where the world of health and longevity are going ahead of everyone else. And those two places that I think of are LA and Singapore. What do you see in Singapore that they're doing differently?
if you look at the Singapore population data again, lifespan has been increasing over the year and now sitting at about 86 as a lifespan. But again, the most important actually is
The future of longevity is being shaped in Geneva this October. The Global Longevity Summit is an intimate gathering at the Genolia Innovation Hub, running from October the 28th to the 30th, with pioneers like Aubrey de Grey, Matt Kaberlein, and Amy Killen. I am grateful to be joining as an advisor. And if you would like to be there too, you can get 10% off tickets with the code Beyond Tomorrow. Just check the description for the link. I'll see you there. Can you give me one thing that a listener will get out of this episode with you?
I hope the listener will adopt a healthier lifestyle and take control of their health.
Before we came on air, you were talking about your experience being born in Hong Kong and then coming over to the UK for boarding school and then university and then going back to Asia and building out this empire, this health and property empire. What was your experience like being in the UK and growing up with a very different culture to the one you experienced in Asia?
Yes, indeed. I left Hong Kong, left home at the age of 13, went to a boarding school experience and subsequently uni in London. So to me, it equipped me as individuals that having strong confidence to face challenges that perhaps unforeseeable. So at the age, mobile phone is still not around. We don't really use laptops, still pen and paper at that age. So basically, I'm in UK alone myself. So if I have any problem, your parents cannot really help you much. So you have to face the challenge yourself and find solution. So even till today, I find that experience and learning very useful for my career and my life in general. Is literally give me that confidence that I do not know what's in front of me, but I know I'll be able to take on that challenge head on.
Was there anything that you can clearly say or see was a big difference between being raised in the UK compared to Hong Kong?
I wouldn't say so much about the difference in location. For me, the experience is literally leaving home and building that independence within yourself. So if my family is in UK, I study in UK, I may not get that independence building up that confidence in that experience. So I would say is at that age, leaving home perhaps is a difficult decision, but it end up is a positive one for me.
And you went back to Asia, and at the time you had a family business that had one property, wasn't it, in Hong Kong? Is that correct?
Yeah, it was the year I graduated in my uni in London. So I was planning to find a job here and spend a couple more years in London before I head back to Asia. But at that year, SARS hit Hong Kong, 2003. So this hotel property in downtown center in Hong Kong was foreclosure by the bank. and my family is in real estate business, and they saw it as an opportunity to just buy it as a cheap real estate. But they have no intention of learning how to run a hotel. So after they secured the project, my father gave me a call and say, Alan, it's down to the next generation to learn how to run a hotel. We just bought this property. We have no intention to learn how to do so. So it's your responsibility now to learn how to run a hotel.
How did you feel as a 20-something-year-old?
Yeah, I was 23 at that time. Yeah,
probably getting going in London, wanting to experience London in the the early 2000s, probably, or late 90s, or whatever it was. Did you feel like, oh, this is a bit too soon? I want to kind of enjoy Europe for a bit longer.
No, so I take a momentary pause and thought about that, and actually to me it's a real opportunity for me to actually start something fresh for the family, and yet having the family backing and support in myself. I think that would be one of the best opportunity for me, and that's why I literally took the next flight out and fly back to Hong Kong and start running this hotel.
And I'm sure the listeners will, if they don't know you already, will know that this was the seed of something huge, an empire that you've created since then.
Yeah.
So from one property to what you've created now, just walk us through your mindset to have expanded at such a fast rate, and what drove you and what's driving you.
Yeah, so the first 12 months since I went back Hong Kong to be involved in this hotel property, so I was literally doing every single job you can think of in the hotel, from your bellboy to your check-in and check-out receptionist to your F&B. In one day I will be cooking in the kitchen, the other day I will be a waiter and waitress serving the table. So I literally went through every single job in the hotel in the first 12 months. So that was a very steep learning curve, but at the same time give me the understanding of each of the role and how each of the role also interdependence on the other team member as well. So end up I have kind of built the hotel group into a people-driven organization. So it's all about people, whether it's our customer or our colleagues. It is how we pull people together to strive towards a common goal. So that was my starting point. But then the pivotal moment comes is that after that 1 year, I literally wrote a paper for the family. At that point in time, my thesis was that the Asia disposable income is rising, and at that point in time also is the start of low-cost carrier across Asia as well. So I told the family that with that, tourism in Asia is going to boom, and since we are already in real estate and hotel, let's set aside a pool of fund and to further expand in the hotel industry across Asia. So that was the pivotal moment, and my family trusted me as a 23-year-old boy, and say, okay, let's do this. We set aside this pool of fund. You show us what you can do with it. Yeah. So since then we have been growing. The second project was in Singapore, Orchard Road, and then subsequently we expand further in Singapore itself and China, Japan, and the Maldives as well.
It's very exciting to. I have Asian parents, and I know that there's hierarchy in certain cultures, but to have trust and put trust in you at 23, that says something for sure.
Yes, indeed. The good thing is, I guess, I'm not taking over an existing business whereby there's already established loyal team member who have been with, let's say, my father for 20 years, and I try to take over that. So the good thing about what I've handled in the hotel is that it is literally a new business, because what the family bought is just the real estate. Without the people, it is just brick and mortar, literally. So it is, to me, it's almost like a startup. I'm almost like a startup founder at that age of 13 and starting this hotel group from there on.
And then you moved into fitness studios. So you have Revel and Move, is it?
Yeah, so I co-founded this company called Move Repeat. It's a holding company for all our fitness ventures. So we started with Yoga Movement, the largest chain in Singapore, and recently expanded to Hong Kong as well. And we have Strong Pilates franchise in Singapore, as well as Revel Training we acquired early this year. It's from Australia. It's strength and conditioning group exercise. And now we have about 40 over studio across Asia under Revel.
Let's go straight into these incredible projects you're building, because at the forefront of it is Morrow, which is $170 million wellness space, which you're looking to create to really try and increase health span and have access to everyone. First of all, what's been your motivation of kind of moving deeper into the longevity space?
Yeah, so I've started with the hospitality group, and then subsequently the wellness, the fitness group. But that fitness portion is actually only one pillar of the bigger wellness and longevity industry. So I have stumbled across this particular field in medicine called lifestyle medicine, and it has 6 core pillars. And one of it is physical exercise, which we are already doing. So, but the other 5, I feel that we are doing some, but not that much yet. So that's why we have embarked onto researching further into these area, which include your nutrition and diet, your sleep quality, stress management, avoid harmful substances, as well as positive social connection. So they all interlink, interrelated, and it's not just, you just do the exercise and then you can just ignore the rest of the pillars. So I think it's about what small step we can take in each of the 6 pillars, and ultimately it will improve your health. So that's the what lifestyle medicine is about, and we have since started Morrow with that as the foundation, and built upon our customer journey from the starting point as diagnostics. So we want to know each individuals at that point in time when they first start with us, where are their health status, and where's their biological markers are. So, and then you'll be seeing a medical doctor or physician specialized in lifestyle medicine to understand what your needs and wants, and what are the issues that you may be facing, and how we can design a lifestyle protocol or intervention for the individual, so that they can start taking these small steps to improve their health in the long run. So, but after we have gone into this discovery journey, we have realized the main stumbling block, other than the confusion in the market with regard what you should be doing, and the availability of some of these advice. But actually, the biggest challenge for most people are linking that knowledge to action. That's the action gap currently. Yeah. So in short, we all kind of know we should eat healthy and we should do some exercise, and we definitely should sleep well as well. So but why so many people are not either achieving it or are not doing it? So we have designed the key component for our solution for this is what we call health coaching. So we have a team of health coaches, but at the same time we incorporate technology and AI to build actually a AI health coach that is available to individuals on a 24/7 basis. So because traditionally, if you see a physical professional health coach, you may only see the person once a month or once every 3 months, and it's costly as well. But actually, a lot of these lifestyle choices actually need to be made on a daily basis. Just on food alone, research shows that an individual on average will make 200 choices daily. What to eat, where to eat, when to eat, etc. So just that alone is 200. So from AI app perspective that can actually help to guide individuals with the advice, as well as to help them to tracking all their key health data, which typically is either in silos or not even tracked. So for example, for nutrition values, most people don't track nutrition. So you kind of, if you even see a dietitian, and they'll ask you, oh, what's your diet like normally? So a lot of people would just like kind of recall what I ate last night, or today's for lunch. But if the dietitian tell me the full 30 days a month, right, it's going to be tough. So now with the AI component, what we do is just take a photo with your phone on your foot. We'll keep track and lock down all your nutrition value. Of course, it may not be 100% accurate, but it's a good gauge with regards to your nutrition value, for example. So with all these data kind of flow into one data pool, what we can do is actually enable to give individual that insight that they are looking for, so that it can drive action. So to us, is data have to be able to deliver something, and what action can the individual take is the important data. No point just showing me tons of data that I cannot take actions, and it doesn't change me, no use. So by having those data and with the adoption of AI, is literally pulling out the important decision at the information at the right time, so that the individuals can make the right judgment call at that point in time.
So I think about this a lot, so much, because there's a real difference between knowledge and accountability. So I find that with a lot of these, I have a Whoop and I have lots of different wearables, and it's telling me these things, and I listen to and I speak on podcasts, and I'm a host of a podcast, so I understand all the right things to do, but I still don't abide to them because when I'm really busy and all that. But when I have accountability, as in when I have let's say a PT that I'm seeing 3 times a week or whatever, they really hold me accountable. So I find for myself, let's say in Singapore, when you're going around the hawker centers, it doesn't matter what you still want to eat a chili crab or this or that, and it's not exactly good for you.
Yeah, so I think is a lot of people need a buddy to go along that journey with them, and sometimes not even just a buddy, but sometimes what we are trying to do is also to build a community. So even just for example, for yoga, so we can easily roll out a mat and do yoga ourselves, and maybe if for a beginner you can just watch a YouTube and you can also do it, right? But even for myself, I've been practicing yoga for 10 years, and I still wanting to go to a studio and follow a group class and practice my yoga. Why is that energy within the studio is very different from you practicing yoga on your own. So and building that community, and sometimes before or after class you have a little chit chat with your fellow student as well. So some of these is actually intangible benefit, which link back to the other pillar I mentioned earlier, is about the positive social connections. So these social connections actually enable us to take our health journey a lot further, whether it's your food, your exercise, or even stop drinking and smoking. These actually are influences that ultimately it may be your friends or family, or actually people you don't know in you're sharing a class with. So positive social connection is a very important part of the health journey.
Absolutely. So you enter Morrow and you have your diagnostics done, you get tested, and then you get this health coach, and then you've got the AI as well. How do I then use all these thousands of square meters that you have in this space? Yeah,
so we do not force everyone to use our facility. So basically, what we encourage is that each of the protocol must be highly personalized. It must fit to your lifestyle and your scheduling. So let's say if you our facility is not convenient for your work or near your home, you may choose other gym or studio, or even just run around your own block as an exercise, for example. So we don't kind of pigeonhole people into what you should be doing, but we actually try to establish what is the protocol that the high chance of individuals can continue with it. Because the most challenging part is actually people drop out after, let's say, the first month. Yes, I give it a try, I follow it, I do see some benefit, but then it's hard, I couldn't continue. So for us, it's actually having that personalized approach and say, what would you be able to continue? What is that few things that we must take off that box? So we start it with the starting point is about the individuals, instead of, I have a standard protocol, you just follow these 10 steps and you'll be great. So but then 1 month later you don't see the person again. Yeah, so to us it's about that. And now of course our facility is, should our facility be suitable for certain individuals, we welcome you. So we have from exercise, we have your gym, your group classes, your yoga, your Pilates for the exercise portion, and then we have a recovery zone whereby you have your contrast therapy, sauna, cold bath, snow room, and then you have the more advanced treatment whereby you have your hyperbaric chamber, your cryotherapy, red light therapy, etc. So that's the recovery zone, and then we have healthy F&B options as well. We have kind of a dietitian-led F&B. Restaurants and juice bar, as well as a cafe for our members.
So it's really, because I had David Lloyd on the podcast, who has a huge gym chain across Europe, the largest in Europe. And David was saying to me that you've got to basically have everything all in one roof if you really want to be able to nail the high-end fitness gym kind of route in the future. As in, people want to go and be able to do everything from hot yoga to cold plunge to high intensity workouts. What I'm hearing is that Morrow is going to be the kind of the Uber, the high end, the all in one kind of fitness and health experience, rather than being like a designated longevity clinic.
Yes. So if you look at our offering, I would say you can still find similar services, but currently, for example, in Singapore, you probably need to go to 5, 6, 7 different locations to actually find all the services that we provide. So that is just one idea about the services. But the key actually is for us is the data component. So how we actually consolidate all the data of one's health, from your medical data to some of your wearables data and some of those data that you're currently not tracking that we actually put in together. So we lump all this data into one, and that is actually the most important of our whole customer journey and how that information can become a positive spiral, so that the data show people that what they are doing is improving their health, and then by seeing those real data, the individual will be encouraged and motivated to, this is good, I want to do more. So it's no longer someone pushing you. It's actually you are self-driven because you are looking at data, it looks good, I want to do more. And that is, to us, is what keep people stay on track with their health journey instead of falling off. As I mentioned earlier, is one of the key problem with the industry currently.
And just to say, this is not, we're not directly promoting Morrow, although we are talking about it quite a bit. But just to give our listeners an idea, like what is the price point here? Is it because I know part of your mission is to make health more accessible. Right. Is it something that most people in Singapore would be able to afford, or are you starting with more of a high-end offering?
Yeah, so our starting point is we look at the industry is that most of the longevity clinic are targeting the top 5 percentile of the population in most cities. So for us, it's like we our starting point is, if we were to democratize longevity, which it should not be a luxury item. It should be actually essential for all. Health is essential for everyone. So then we starting is, okay, can we bring that 5 percentile down all the way down to, let's say, 50 percentile? Perhaps the below 50, the government will have to do something about it. But can we take the 50 percentile as the benchmark, and then we start looking into what's the median household income in Singapore, and then we did a market survey as to how much will you afford, how much will you be willing to pay for services like this for your health, and then we kind of benchmark, have a kind of a magic figure is about 600 Singapore dollar. That's our benchmark.
Which is how much in USD?
USD will be about 450 or thereabouts.
So about £300. Well,
yes. Okay. So we our benchmark was that, and then we designed our whole protocol around that pricing. For the diagnostic, the consult, and the use of the AI application. So that will be the basic offering. Then of course we do have other higher end offering to, if you want to conduct more tests and see more professional and use of the facility. Those will be add on from there.
I always find that there's certain places in the world that have insights into where the world of health and longevity are going ahead of everyone else. And those two places that I think of are LA and Singapore. LA, from like a wellness standpoint, people are taking stem cells, 5-10 years before anyone's even heard of whatever it is that they're taking. And then Singapore is like the real blue zone, because it's a blue zone in an actual city. What do you see in Singapore that they're doing differently? And what is the appetite for being in shape and staying healthy compared to elsewhere?
Yeah, so what you described may be, again, is that very small niche group of people in LA, for example. But if I look at the population-wide data, actually, US are the country that is spending the most per capita in healthcare. But their health or longevity data is actually worse in the world. So you're spending a lot, but you're not getting the quality or the results you would want at a population wide. So in particular for US, I would say what you described is just a very niche of it. And then for Singapore, is named as the Blue Zone, the latest Blue Zone, and they say it's engineered Blue Zone, so they call it the Blue Zone 2.0 now. So but even with that, you thought, yeah, Blue Zone, then you're saying, oh, you should have a longevity should be quite good for Singapore. But then if you look at the Singapore population data again, it's actually showing, yes, lifespan has been increasing over the year, and now sitting at about I think 86 as a lifespan. But again, the most important actually is, what is your health span? In Singapore, there's 10 years gap between the health span and lifespan, and for WHO on average globally is 9 years. So Singapore is actually a little bit worse off than the global average.
But that's because Singaporeans also live the longest, right? They live till 86, is it?
Yes.
That's right? Okay,
yeah.
So at 77 or 76, they'll be ridden to a wheelchair, or they'll be
some form of assisted some assisted living or poor health condition. So for me, my very ambitious goal or maybe aspirational vision is that, can we close that gap, the health span and lifespan? Can we close that gap? So some will say, okay, let's aim to reduce it. But then I challenge the team and say, reduce to what? So I come across this concept about vision zero. So I say, can we have this vision of zero gap between health span and lifespan? We may never achieve that, but if we put steps towards it to get close to zero, I think we will be doing quite well. So that's what we have set out to do. Our vision for Morrow is that we want to achieve zero gap between health span and lifespan in the long run.
There is this kind of big difference when you look at the longevity and health space. There are some people that are like, yeah, let's sort out health span. Let's allow people the opportunity to live healthily until they're 80 or 90. And then you get into the more kind of radical stuff, gene therapy, stem cells, all that stuff. So you've got a big fund that invests in this space. What are you looking to invest in? What excites you?
Yeah, so for this fund, it's called Savannah Capital. We started with mission for increasing health span. So I think we touched on just now about the gap between health span and lifespan. So literally there is, if you look, there's a certain survey actually asks the participant about, would you want to live longer? The starting point, we thought, people would generally say they would like to live longer, right? But surprisingly, a majority of the participants actually say they don't want to live longer. Then we ask the second question: would you want to live longer given that you have good health? Then almost 99-100% are saying, yes, I want it. Yeah, so I think if you look at the two questions and the two answers from that, is that actually people worry about poor health when they go old, and they don't want to become a burden and bedridden for 10 years for what, right? So if the starting point is like, if I'm healthy and I can still do what I want to do and is still living my life with purpose, then yes, of course, I want to live longer. So I think that's why we set out to say health span is what we need to focus, and there's a direct correlation. If you're healthier, you're likely to live longer as well. So that is, to us, is a secondary byproduct by focusing on health span.
And so with healthspan, you're like, what's a typical investment that you make?
Yeah, so we have made a few investment under Savannah currently. One is called a cabin company. It is a kind of a cabin on its own, being placed in nature-rich area, whereby bringing busy city people away from their busy work and going to enjoy the nature and connect with nature. So that will have actually have a positive mental health benefit for the individuals, and that's how a cabin company was born. This is in Japan, and Savannah Capital is leading that investment for a cabin company. And then the second investment it made is called Longevity World. It's in Singapore, and it's like a hub or like a department store or shopping mall, but only do longevity and wellness product and services. And next year, Longevity World is also planning to start a e-commerce platform in the likes of your Amazon, but again only have longevity and wellness products on the platform. And the key difference between what Longevity World are looking at and compared to, let's say, Amazon, is that currently most of these platforms are consumer review driven. So but a lot of the times you don't really know whether the review are real or they are paid or incentivized by some influencer, etc. So you kind of looking at it and then like, yes, it has 5-star review, 4.5-star review, but do I really trust those reviews? That was a big question for us when we come down to kind of a wellness product or supplement, for example. It's a huge business out there, and a lot of people are selling supplement, but you don't really know its efficacy and how they produce and sometimes whether it's safe or not, right? So what we have at Longevity World, they've decided that, okay, instead of customer review, it become a professional researcher review, scientific research review. and is employed by Longevity World to actually giving impartial review of each of the products. So end up is that if your products are good, you'd be willing to let third-party scientists to review. But if your product is average, you may not want to be on that platform at all. So end up we're actually filtering out only the good quality products to be on the platform, and we'll highlight what are the pros and cons of these things, and then let people make the choice from there.
This is such an important thing because I think a lot of people in the health space, I'm deep in this space and I still don't know what's the right thing to take or do. I've spoken to the top longevity scientists, and they sometimes will talk about peptides, and they only know, a third of the peptides in the market. So it seems like we're still in this kind of early phase of figuring out what works. But obviously, getting the diagnostic tools, getting the measurement right is the first step. But with supplements, that is just another world, and there's a lot of charlatans out there trying to.
Yeah, a supplement is a very good example because first and foremost, if you follow our lifestyle medicine approach, is that supplement is actually just supplemental to your main diet. So you should supposedly getting your key nutrients from your main diet, which the advice is whole food, mainly plant-based diet. But I know a lot of us in living in the city are just like looking for that magic pill and say, okay, I'll take this A to Z supplement and I'll have this, I'll feel better, for example. But is it really have any benefit to the individual? That is still a question mark. So if you plan your meals with sufficient nutrient, actually you don't need to take any supplement. And of course, if you go for diagnostic and your medical report shows that you're deficient in certain vitamins, for example, a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D, for example, because you can only get from sunlight. And a lot of people try to avoid the sun because potentially have skin cancer, or it's just too hot, too sweaty, for example. It doesn't meet the individual's needs and wants, for example. So end up, yes, some doctor will prescribe vitamin D as a supplement because you are tested to be deficient in that, and it's hard for you to replace to get that from other source. So then yes, you should take the supplement, but we shouldn't just randomly take A to C for feel good factor, or take this calcium for bone, for example. So, but if your bone are healthy, then it's actually, does it do anything to you? And sometimes it can have the other side effect if you're overdosing on minerals and other things. So do be careful, with regards to supplement.
Love that. I want to get into your crystal ball and just look where this space is moving. By 2030, what will longevity spaces look like? 2030,
this actually is exactly what the recent report from UBS have shown. They have estimate by 2030, the longevity economy will grow to about US 8 trillion, and is growing as fast as AI. So I was a little bit surprised when I saw that report. I would thought, yes, AI for sure is out there, right? So, but longevity actually catching up closely behind AI. That one is actually, to me, is quite surprising. But then when I further drew into the report, actually, it does make sense because it include your healthcare component, and also on the other side also include assistant living type of offering, and of course all your other wellness and lifestyle component as well. So that market is huge, and we can also see that especially after COVID, a lot of people are more concerned about their health, and they want to take a more progressive approach and having a preventive mindset. So most country, if you look at the healthcare system, is geared towards sick care. So if you're not sick, don't come to see a doctor. Don't go to hospital. Don't go to a clinic in general, right? So, but now people are asking is like, a lot of these diseases are potentially avoidable or can be mitigated, the risk for some of the chronic diseases. So then people are looking at, what can I do as an individual? How can I prevent this? I don't want to fall into this chronic diseases in the future. What can I do to take care of my health now? So you see a lot of interest in this area, and that's why you also see a lot of different concepts are opening in different parts of the world, and everyone are trying to find their grounds on the footing as to which model the consumer is going to see the real benefit. It's not going to be just a trend. But I think seeing real benefit and continue and be consistent with that is going to what drive the long term for the longevity industry.
It's such an interesting time we live in, because I think for the entire history of humanity, we have assumed that at a certain age our health declines and then we die. But for the first time, we're looking at an increasing health span, the potential for therapeutics that could extend our lives indefinitely. And so it's almost this crazy point we're living in, this kind of gray zone of like realization that, let's take control of our health.
Yes. So just maybe a personal experience for myself. So I was like really like workaholic when I first started my career. I work like 12-15 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I've not done any exercise for a good 10 years. At that point in time, I eat fast food, junk food, so I just quick meals, and sleep very little. So basically, it's totally opposite of what we are proposing right now. But that, as my personal journey, is that I have some health scares myself, and end up I recently went into a show and asked me if you were to write a letter to your younger self, what is your advice to him? It's like, literally, please take care of your health as number one priority. Work is work. Work will come around. Taking care of your health is most important. If you have no health, what can you do? You end up become a liability to someone else. So it is so critical that if we want to achieve something, if we want to take care of our loved one, we better take care of our health first. So I think that's one of the learning I have, and I'm very glad to say today, in my 40s, I'm actually stronger and healthier than my 20s. So age is just a number to me, but it's what physically and mentally you can do things that is actually determine your biological age. If I can run faster than my younger self, if I can, my mind is sharper than my younger self. Am I younger? Of course I'm younger and healthier. So of course, your chronological age is just increasing every birthday you have. But I think focusing on our health and ensuring that decline, that we can at least slow down, or if not, we can even strengthen beyond our younger self. I think that would be great.
So when you look at Morrow in 2030, you talked a bit about the more attention being put towards health span and living longer and people taking care of themselves. But is there any sort of like vertical or aspect of the gym or the wellness space that you see becoming more relevant or important? As an example, we see a lot of cold plunges seeing that a lot. What about hyperbaric chambers and, I don't know, like longevity IV drips and all that stuff? Like anything that you really see being like a key growth opportunity?
I think in the longevity space, one of the probably biggest opportunity, but it's still debatable as of today, depending on which country you're sitting at. I would say is stem cell therapy. So there are countries that already adopted it, and there are many people went for the therapy and feel good and continue doing so. But for example, in Singapore, it's not allowed yet. So it is not in our facility at Morrow. So really depending on where you're sitting at today, and how you look at stem cell therapies. But if you talk about 5-10 years down the road, I think stem cell therapy is definitely one area that have the huge opportunity in the longevity field. So nowadays, the simple one you do is a lot of people do is direct injection to whether it's your knee or shoulder or an area that is some of your joint are declining and require that additional gel in that joint area. So a lot of people do that. Some people do a general infusion in the blood system. Still a lot of controversy out there. I don't want to say whether it work or don't work, but because it's still a different part of the world have different view on that. But literally for 5-10 years time frame, I would say the biggest bet would be in stem cell therapy.
What about in like longevity spaces? It's crazy to think how many wellness and longevity spaces are just popping up everywhere now. Like, what advice would you give to someone who was setting one up today, let's say in the UK or the US?
Whoa, okay. Actually, a lot of concept will work. I wouldn't say you should only do one thing and not the other. It's almost like we are talking about like the F&B industry. There's so many different cuisine out there and different price point and offering. So in the longevity space, same. You can have the similar goal to improve health span, but your offering may be slightly different and your price point may be slightly different. I think the opportunity is out there. The market is not so saturated yet, but the important is the adoption rate, and also how the industry build trust amongst the consumer in longevity. A lot of influencer-led type of protocol. I also maybe a bit controversial, but whether it is science-backed and evidence-based, I don't know. So I would recommend that if anyone are looking to start out a longevity business, look at the real science. If you are doing something that is science-backed, I think you'll do fine. And then it's about the service delivery, almost like how we run a hotel, the hospitality, the customer service. Is your service good? If your service is good and you have a science-backed product, for sure people will come to you. So I think matching that your science-backed product with a good quality service and then at the right price point, I think that will be the winner.
I saw a meme recently that basically showed two individuals both succeeding at what they were doing. One was smoking, drinking, sleeping 4 hours, eating whatever they wanted to, and still like smashing their day. And the other one was like on IV drips, and it's funny because like now we're seeing that you can all feel great and just be like elated and euphoric and be doing all these kind of healthy things. And I think people are realizing that, I don't need to be smoking and drinking. I could be on an IV drip and I could be doing that. In terms of, because I know there's a lot of longevity hotels that are popping up, do you see that as being a big market? As in someone going, instead of drinking a cocktail by the beach there, they have an IV drip on and
Yeah, so if you look at alcohol sales globally, you actually see that decline quite a fair bit, right? And even I was like in UK context, beer is one big category of alcohol, right? So even within the beer category, you see non-alcohol or alcohol-free beer is become the second largest category within beer.
Wow.
So after lager is alcohol-free beer. Then is your rest of the category of beer. So it has grown so much on kind of alcohol-free version. So it is how alcohol smoking used to be a kind of a social part of our lives, and smoking has deteriorated a lot in the last 2-3 decades, I would say. Even last time in the airplane, still allow smoking. When I was studying at that time in UK, the flight was so bad because like people just smoking in the flight. You cannot get out.
It's crazy.
You still remember those days, right? So it has been banned, and then have highlighted all the cancer pathway that is caused by smoking. So that has reduced a lot. So alcohol to me is going down the similar pathway of reducing trends, and people are replacing alcohol with alcohol-free beverages, and you can still have a good celebration with non-alcohol drinks, right? Because most importantly is that social connection that we want to establish with our friends and families, and not necessarily just get drunk and poison ourselves with alcohol. So I think the world are moving towards that. It will still takes time, but the younger generation, let's say my son's generation, will not have any interest in alcohol. Actually, my son will say, no, I have no interest of drinking alcohol at all. And why would I do that? I'm just poisoning myself. Yeah, so I see the younger generation are actually already move away. Yeah, so you'll see a generation change along those lines. But again, whether you have an IV drip or you're having alcohol in your hand, ultimately is how people perceive as a culture that needs to shift. But currently the culture is still maybe opening a champagne in a festive kind of setting, but then can we replace with something else? And one of the story I share with my team is that next time in the wedding, can we don't see alcohol, for example? That is when the society actually have changed. The culture actually has moved. So in times to come, it may not be near term, but we'll see that moving along. And as you say, whether you're doing IV drip or hyperbaric chamber now, some executive you see, they actually conduct a meeting inside a hyperbaric chamber. Let's say two of us can be having this podcast in a hyperbaric chamber next time.
It's a good idea, actually. Just to finish off, because you mentioned a really important point, which is I think alcohol and smoking, some of it is societal, just getting used to it, but a lot of it is escapism. And so what's interesting now is that I think people are escaping in different ways. And for me personally, I see it in myself, but then, everyone, it's really social media, just how Instagram Reels, we still don't even know the effect of spending hours a day potentially doom scrolling and what it's doing to our dopamine levels in our brain and all that. And it feels that I feel that has just become the new form of escapism, and maybe we're always looking for some way to escape until we address the root cause. But I don't know what your thoughts are, especially with a 13-year-old kid, if you allow him a phone or...
Yeah, so I think escaping is, I think we why go back to root cause, right? Why we want to escape is perhaps we are lost. We cannot find that purpose in our life, and we are still finding, but somehow we couldn't find. We feel like we are stuck in this spiral, in this room. I keep doing the same thing, but it's not going anywhere. So some people feel I'm stuck. So they end up escape. But going really back to root cause is we need to find our purpose. We need to find our passion. And we spend time in in that area, who needs to escape? You'll be just enjoying your daily life. Yes, I'm working hard towards it, but every moment you're actually enjoying it. Yeah, so I think finding that purpose, that positive impact to not just yourself but your loved one and the bigger society, I think the person would no longer need to escape.
It's so interesting, and I completely agree with you. It's just that they've made these devices so utterly addictive that it doesn't matter how much you're, going down this route. The second you start scroll, it kind of just reels you in a way that's
So it's also I think the device and technology is definitely a good thing, but the important thing is what do you do with that technology? Is what content you read in that handphone in your hand, right? So you can choose to be actually looking at something more, whether it's positive driven mindset type of content, or you're looking at something more educational type of content, or even just newsworthy content, instead of mindfully scrolling with some just like jokes or other things, right? So I think it's the individual choice ultimately is down to that. So if we keep looking at things that perhaps negative, perhaps not value adding, and time wasting type of content, we should think twice, should we continue that? Or is there some other content that we can interest ourselves with?
Alan, to wrap things up, what parting piece of advice did you give, or would you have given to your son as you dropped him off at boarding school this past week?
Yes, I actually telling him that first is to follow your heart. Yeah, so basically, if there's something you feel right or something that you feel wrong, you have that that intuition somehow that you want to do it or you shouldn't be doing it. So let your heart guide you. And the second thing is face challenges head on. You don't know what's the solution at this point in time, but you'll find your way. So I think that is my own personal journey of boarding school, and the same thing that I advise my son, that just follow your heart and literally face the challenge head on. You'll be doing just fine.
I love, like, by the way, those are two of my biggest, I would say, values. Heart, but also knowing that you don't have all the answers today, but if you put the next step forward, then you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, and we do have to fall to learn as well. So any successful people out there you see, yes, you see them successful at the end, but have you looked at their path? How many times have they fall? Probably thousands times. But the most important is they fall fast, they get up fast, and they're stronger than before. So I think that's the secret sauce for being successful.
Alan, thank you so much for coming on the Beyond Tomorrow podcast.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you for having me.
If you want to know what tomorrow has in store like I do, you definitely want to listen to our recent episode where I talked to Peter Diamandis about a future where we could live forever. Thank you so much.